Hi there, Kerry here again, another great new video for you, hopefully. Now today we are going back to the bookgrocer.co.nz and their mystery boxes. Now I produced a video about the mystery box number 1 back in July, late July I believe, so you can find that on the channel. So it was a bit of a mixed bag, and now the Book Grocer have put out mystery box number 2 for New Zealand customers. Now you also can get to the mystery box, the Book Grocer on bookgrocer.com or bookgrocer.com.au. I'm not sure if the mystery boxes in the Australian site exactly match the ones available on the New Zealand site, so it's going to be a mystery what you end up with from there, and that's part of the fun. Now the mystery box, this time mystery box 2 arrived on Wednesday afternoon, and it was waiting for me when I got home from work, and I haven't been able to find the time to make a video opening it until now. Today is Saturday the 9th of October 2021. We're stumbling out of winter into spring. The weather's still a bit awful and changeable. 1 minute it's warm, the next minute it's raining. I think thunderstorms are predicted for this afternoon. I haven't seen any, thank goodness. Anyway, without further ado, we'll get into the mystery box. And here it goes. All the way from Auckland, where the Book Grocer has set up its New Zealand operation. So once again, these are $100 New Zealand for the box and $10 for shipping. And they promise you 30 remaindered books, a totally random selection. So let's dive in and see what we got this time. And once again, my trusty box cutter will open the package. Now I'm hoping for a few gems in this one. So they have some interesting stuff in their different themed boxes, and I'm hoping that some of it, the later ones, have come across to the mystery box. So let's see. Okay, first of all, I see a lot of packing. There's a bit of paper. Something saying dig in bookworms. And here we go, packing paper. Okay, what have we got here? First one, Profiles in Folly. Now this is, we love to be inspired by true stories of courageous men and women who made bold, sometimes difficult decisions. We also love to hear about decisions about whether through character flaws or sheer luck lead to misfortune, disaster or worth. Here we go. It's a non-fiction book about when things didn't go quite to plan. So that is Profiles in Folly by Alan Axelrod, number 1 out of the mystery box. Next up, it looks like a journal, a ruled page journal or notebook. It does have an ISBN number, but I don't believe there's anything actually on the pages, but I'd have to open that to see, so we'll leave that for now. So what does it say? Notes. So that's obviously a bit of a clue to what it is, a notebook. And continuing a theme that was in the last box, dogs, stories and poems. There's someone who creates these mystery boxes are very into dogs, it seems. Maybe that's just the Australian book buyers. So this is a non-fiction book, and also includes poems by various famous people relating to dogs and so on. So if you're a big dog fan, there's one for you. I'm not a dog person myself, so probably doesn't really hit home for me. Next up, The Dead and Those About to Die. There we go. It is a non-fiction book about D-Day, I believe. It's about the Big Red One, the First Division, and the battle on Normandy Beach, etc, etc. So that's a story of World War II. Could be interesting. There we go. The Dead and Those About to Die by John C. McManus. Next up, a paperback called Tench by Inga Schulpercord. I'm probably saying this wrong. It's Tench. Let me see, what is it about? It is a novel about some guy who's got out of prison and how his life is starting to overwhelm him. And the author is a criminal psychologist. So there you go. Tench. Next up, 1,000 Shards of Glass. There is Another A Miracle by Michael Cupcakes. There we go. Let me see what this is all about. It is his farewell to the country, written as a farewell to the country Michael still loves and the wife he knew as his true north. A powerful and personal polemic, 1,000 Shards of Glass is Michael's appeal to his fellow citizens to change their course. Cautionary tale to those around the world who idolise America that it never was. And crucially, glimpse beyond the myth to a country whose best days should still lie ahead. And seems a little odd, but there we go. Next up, When Sophie Met Darcy Day by Helen Yeden. Now this one is I believe, fiction. I'll just check on that. Yes, there we go. Well, it says the stories in this book are based on real incidents, but names and identifying features had been changed to protect the children involved. So it seems to be about a place called Greatwood, which where children with special needs help take care of animals. So it's not fiction, it's non-fiction about stories about animals that help children with difficulties live a better life. So there we go. Next up, 30-second medicine, 50 crucial milestones, treatments and technologies in the history of health, each explained in less than half a minute. Best-selling series, over 4 million copies sold. There we go. It's a little bit of non-fiction book. Each one's a different page on a different disease or medical condition, and some illustrations. Also more general medical matters in there. Looks interesting. Might be one to flick through. There we go. 30-second medicine. Next up, Victoria Hislop, The Thread. Not sure about this one. About someone born in Greece in 1917, and then 90 years later, a young Anglo-Greek hears his grandparents' story for the first time, realizing he has a decision to make. For many decades, they have looked after the memories and treasures of the people who were forced to leave. Should he become the next custodian and make this city his home? Okay, looks like fiction. There we go. Next up, A Place Called Winter by Patrick Gale. Another fiction. It's set in Edwardian England, and then about a guy who travels to the newly colonised Canadian prairies. Okay, so probably something I'm not going to be dying to read, but there we go. Okay. Ooh, The Garden of Dreams and Desires by Kristen Painter. Looks like some type of fantasy book, possibly YA. Harlow is a ghost in her own body. She has no control, no power, and all she can do is watch as her twin sister Ava May lives recklessly, foolishly, slowly destroying everything Harlow has worked so hard for. Augustine needs to focus on his new role as guardian of New Orleans as the tourists mysteriously disappear off the street. All he can think of is rescuing Harlow and keeping his family safe. As the coven grows more powerful, control of the city hangs in the balance and the witches prevail. No Fae will suffer. Okay, it looks like a YA urban fantasy novel. Looks like there's several more in the series. Can't see myself reading that, but here we go. Oh, something tucked in the side. A tote bag. Actually, I could do with another one of these. Let's see what's on there. It says pop-up books. There we go. A tote bag. That's a little extra that wasn't in the first box. And also tucked down the side, Mindful Thoughts for Cooks, Nourishing Body and Soul by Julia Ponsonby. It's a little flip book. Healthy eating, tuning into our senses, and that type of thing. Mindfulness, health and well-being, self-improvement, and a little book for you. There we go. Next one. Microstyle, The Art of Writing Little by Christopher Johnson. Okay, it's about writing styles and how to improve your writing style. Titles, brand names, status updates, blah, 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 blah. Linguistics expert Christopher Johnson reveals the tools that help miniature messages grab attention, communicate instantly, and stick in the mind and roll off the tongue. Okay, so if you need help writing your next Twitter post, this looks like the guide to consult. Okay, here we go. The Extraordinary Hope of Dawn Brightside. She's not lost, she's just waiting to be found. Dawn Elizabeth Brightside has been running from her past for 22 years, and in two months precisely. When she's offered a bed in St Jude's Hostel for the homeless, it means much more than a roof over her head. But with St Jude's threatening to close, Dawn worries that everything about her is about to crumble down around her again. Perhaps a little help from a new friend, she can find a way through this, save this light in the darkness. Okay, fiction, obviously. Another thing I can't see myself reading right away. Okay, here we go. Stop at Nothing. It's obviously a airport thriller type novel by Michael Ledwidge. And it's got a quote from James Patterson saying, "Flawless." Private jet crashes into the Caribbean Sea. Diving instructor Michael Gannon's the only person on the scene. Finding 6 dead men in a suitcase full of cash and diamond, he assumes he's at the beneficiary of a drug deal gone wrong. However, it seems one of the passengers of the director of the FBI. So despite the official story, he died of natural causes in Italy. Suddenly pursued by a cabal, the world's most powerful and dangerous man, Gannon will only survive if he unravels a terrifying conspiracy. Okay. Oh, here's one from an author I actually used to follow, Jonathan Lethem. I read quite a few of his books in the early 90s, mid-90s. I own several of them, which I actually haven't read yet. I used to enjoy his prose. He was very dense and ironic and imaginative. Now this one is The Feral Detective, which I think I did have on a wish list on one website for a while. Okay, it's basically a noir detective type thing, but obviously written in Lethem's style, which may be pretty good. I could see myself reading this one, so that's The Feral Detective. Next up, Night of the Plight of the Living Dead. What real life zombies reveal about ourselves and the world. It's like a popular science book. Zombification isn't just the stuff of TV and movies, just like The Walking Dead. It's real and happening all around us, from wasps to crickets, dogs to moose, and even humans. Okay, it's about various greeblies in the natural world which take over the bodies of other creatures. Popular science, looks like it's written at quite an engaging level, not too dense, so there you go, might dip into that one day. Okay, coming up next we've got Papa Goose, 1 year, 7 goslings and the Flight of My Life by Michael Keating. Michael Keating is exhausted and covered in goose shit. One moment he's a gosling is sleeping soundly under his sweater, the next there's one tugging at his shoelace. Being father to a gaggle of goslings that won't let you out of their sight is a full-time job. Okay, sounds like it's a scientist who's bringing up some geese and has to basically keep them alive no matter what happens. Says it's a charming book that traces Keating's heartwarming and highly entertaining adventure. Blah, 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 blah. Learns more from his charges than he ever expected about the nature and what it means to be human. So there we go, it's a bit of a feel-good, non-fiction nature type thing. There we go. What have we got here? Mark Watson Contacts. One message, 158 names, seen to all. Who will be there when you need them most? And it's got quotes from Richard Curtis, Tim Minchin and Chris Addison saying it's great. Okay, it's about a guy in London who sends a text message to 158 people saying he's about to commit suicide. Then everything that happens after that to everyone reacts and gets together to help him, I believe. So that's fiction again. Let's try, what have we got here? Why? What Makes Us Curious by Mario Levivo. It's like a popular science non-fiction type thing. There we go. Just what attracts us to various situations and attracts our attention, and curiosity and its essential role in creativity. So there we go. That is Why. Next up, Studs Terkel Interviews, Film and Theatre. Who's it by? To say Studs Terkel. Collects the Pulitzer Prize winning oral historian's remarkable conversation with some of the greatest luminaries of film and theatre. There we go. So there we go. It's transcripts of interviews over the years. It's got everyone from Arnold Schwarzenegger to Marcel Marceau and Jacques Tati. There we go. So if you're interested in entertainment, might be one to have a look at. Next one, The End of the Earth. Jonathan Franzen again here. He was had a book in the first mystery box. So it looks like it may be a non-fiction book from him. I'm not entirely sure. Yes, it seems to be about travel and wildlife and places he's been. So that is the end of the Earth. It looks like he actually comes to New Zealand in this one. Okay, coming up next, Pinkerton's Great Detective. The rough and tumble career of James McFarland, America's Sherlock Holmes. Okay, the major difference being that Sherlock Holmes was a fictional character and this is apparently about a real life character. Written by Bo Riffenberg. All about the Pinkertons detectives in the 19th century and some of the characters which arose from within their ranks. It looks like lots of photos in there, guns and gravestones and lots of posed 19th century, early 20th century photos. So if you're interested in detectives and crime, that's another one for you. That is Pinkerton's Great Detective. Okay, what have we got here? A Good Enough Mother. Taught, absorbing and psychologically astute, according to Paula Hawkins on the cover. This is by Bev Thomas. And Dr. Ruth Hartland is director of a highly respected trauma therapy unit. She is confident, capable and excellent at her job, but she is finding it hard to maintain her equilibrium. Today, she is preoccupied with her son Tom's disappearance. When a new patient arrives in the unit, a young man that looks shockingly like Tom, she is floored. As a therapist, Ruth knows exactly what she should do in the best interests of her client, but as a mother, she makes a very different choice, a decision that will have profound consequences. So there we go, A Good Enough Mother. Oh, next one is a big, heavy hardcover. Jean-Francois Millet Simplicity Light, the easiest cookbook in the world, the French bestseller. Looks pretty heavy duty. It's pretty responsible for half the weight of this box. And it is, like it says, it is a cookbook, recipes and photos of food. Lots of them. Probably stuff with elaborate ingredients that you cannot get hold of, but it looks like it's laid out in a simple way, showing the ingredients on one side and a photo of the finished dish on the next. So if you're into cookbooks, this might be one for you. Might be something I actually end up giving away as a gift, perhaps, if nobody in my family watches these videos. Right. Next up, looks like another cookbook type thing, Cupcakes by Martha Swift and Lisa Thomas. Lots of photos of cupcakes on the front. Same kind of cookbook formula, and recipe on one side, photo of the results on the other. And there's a lot of stuff that would make you as fat as me in there. So we're running out of books here. Next up, we've got For Those Who Know the Ending by Malcolm McKay. It's another noir crime drama fictional book set in Glasgow's underworld, apparently. Glasgow, Scotland, that is. Yep, so you're into crime and detectives and the underworld in the UK, this is another one for you. Oh dear. See this face popping up at me? Ed Sheeran. Sunday Times by Sean Smith, Sunday Times best-selling author. So all you wanted to know about Ed Sheeran and we were afraid to ask, it apparently is in here along with photographs. Not a fan of the man myself, so another one I'm going to probably put up for adoption by somebody else. And we're almost there. Daughter, Mother and Me, a memoir of loss and dirty dishes by Patricia Scanlan. Oh no, sorry, that's just the quote. The actual author is Alana Kirk. And it is some type of memoir about the author and her mother and their relationship. Doesn't say where or when. Looks like the UK perhaps. So further investigation for that one. I can't see myself reading it right away either. And lucky last, The Hybrid Diet by Patrick Holford and Jerome Byrne. Join the low carb revolution. So a diet, self-help book, just what I need. So that's pretty much it. The box is empty. I have to say, not as many gems as the first mystery box. I'm a bit disappointed about the contents actually. I was hoping for more science technology or science fiction or something like that, but I guess we have to get what we're given in this case. So that concludes this video, so I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back for the next video. Hopefully some book reviews that I've been sitting on for a while, coming up maybe in the coming week. So have a good day. I hope you, like I said, if you like the video, put a thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you next time.